Hello everyone, today we will be discussing special populations and the approval criteria for some of these groups. Here we have the agenda for the video. We will begin by discussing the precedents for protection of special populations, followed by what are special populations, then we will discuss who is considered vulnerable populations, followed by rationale for protections, then we will move on to approval criteria for children, prisoners, and pregnant women or fetuses, then we will finish with the conclusion. Now we will discuss some history that precedented the need for protection of special populations. First, we have the Nuremberg Code, which established the importance of voluntary consent in human subjects and other ethical principles such as results for the good of society. The thalidomide experiment took place in the 1950s, where thousands of pregnant women took thalidomide for symptomatic relief of morning sickness, which led to teratogenic deformities in more than 10,000 children. Special populations are characterized by the disparities including but not limited to access to healthcare, morbidity, and mortality. A lack or compromised autonomy related to decisions about research participation to a degree that would violate principles of respect for persons. And a lack of informed consent in a manner where subjects do not understand the implications of decision to participate in research. Now we'll be discussing vulnerable populations, which consists of the groups in the table below: pregnant women and fetuses, prisoners, and children. All are listed in the Code of Federal Regulations Title 45, Part 46, and various subparts. While these protections are meant to safeguard the rights, welfare, and safety of these participants, it does not mean that they should be excluded from research. Now we will be discussing the rationale for protection of vulnerable populations. Children cannot consent to participate in a clinical trial. Prisoners have a complication of informed consent, while pregnant women have a potential unknown risk to women and fetuses. An important question to ask is there a need for this research in this population? Here we have some of the approval criteria for children listed. It must contain research involving no greater than minimal risk to children, research involving an intervention or procedure presenting more than minimal risk to children that offers prospect of direct benefit or may contribute to well-being of an individual child. Risks must be justified by anticipated benefit to subjects. Or research involving an intervention or procedure that presents only a minor increase over minimal risk, yet does not offer any prospect of direct benefit or contribute to the well-being of the child. In this part of the video, we are defining what child assent is. Child assent can be defined as a child's affirmative agreement to participate in research. Assent should be tailored to the level of comprehension of the child. The IRB is granted a wide discretion in determining whether a child is capable of assenting by taking into account age, maturity, and psychological state of the children involved. Something to note is that passive resignation to an intervention or procedure must not be considered assent. Here we have the approval criteria for prisoners. Some of the criteria include research under review must represent one of the categories of research permissible under Title 45, Part 46, Section 306, Paragraph A2. Any incentives accruing to prisoner as a result of his or her participation in research are not of such a magnitude that they are unable to properly weigh the risks of research. Risks involved in research are commensurate with risks that would be accepted by non-prisoner volunteers, and information presented in language should be understandable to the subject population. Next, we will be discussing the approval criteria for pregnant women or fetuses. Preclinical studies on pregnant animals and clinical studies on non-pregnant women have been conducted and provide data for assessing potential risks. Risk to fetus is caused solely by interventions or procedures that hold out prospect of direct benefit for the woman or the fetus. Any risk is least possible for achieving the outcomes of the study. Individual is fully informed regarding foreseeable impact of research on fetus or neonate. In the table below, we have the legislation reference for the vulnerable populations discussed earlier. Here, we will discuss other special populations that were not previously discussed. There are groups including older adults, racial and ethnic minorities, low-income individuals, the cognitively impaired, and in terms of disease, we have opioid use disorder, HIV or AIDS, and serious mental illness. Thank you for listening to this video. For assistance with submission or regulatory concerns, please feel free to contact the Regulatory Support Office for a free consultation. The NJX Regulatory Support Office link is listed below.